Once again, we have contributed to your ideal college savings program. Love, Grandma and Grandpa.
Ideal. Eventually, they'll appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. I love it.
College costs money.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the Idaho 8-Man Prepcast here on IdahoSports.com. I am not Brandon Bainey. I'm Paul Kingsbury filling in for Brandon. He called all the games at the Rocky Mountain Rumble last weekend at Pocatello, and his voice is suffering for it. So he's a little hoarse today, of course. And so he asked me to kind of step in the batter's box, but I'm just here to kind of to lead and guide. It's these guys who are the main attractions here. Of course, we have Will Henneke and Coach Lane Kirkland. Guys, this is your show. Like I said, I'm just here to kind of read things and make sure make sure the stream comes up. So thanks for having me.
Now, Paul, when did the Rocky Mountain Rumble end?
Saturday night.
Okay, and what is today?
It is Wednesday night.
I think you know where I'm going with this. Come on, Brandon, get tough.
I'm not here to
be a gamer.
I don't verify the claims. I just repeat them. That's kind of what I do. I don't verify anything. I just repeat it. That's what I do. I'm sure he's home with an ice bag on his throat right now, tuning in like everyone else is. So
it seems like that happened to him last year at some point. That we'll have to send you Luden's cough drops there, buddy, Brandon.
My bet is it like an Oak Ridge Boys concert or something like that, singing along. That's my guess.
Probably not an Oak Ridge Boys. Are they still around? They still tour?
I don't know, probably.
Maybe.
Doesn't everybody? Right. I mean, Rolling Stones still tour, don't they? And they're all like 100 years old.
I'm looking to hit Motley Crue in Vegas in September.
Speaking
in
of
a couple
100
weeks.
years old.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, hey, this is us. We've got Paul, Will, and Coach Lane Kirkland. The three of us were hanging out on the sidelines in Hagerman a couple weeks ago. That was a lot of fun. Hanging out with you guys in person, not just behind a video screen. And in all seriousness, I am glad that I get the chance to kind of be on with you guys on the 8-Man Prepcast. I don't get to do it too often, but I always enjoy it when I do. So as you're tuning in, make sure you like and share wherever you're watching on social media so that others can enjoy this as well. And also don't forget to send in your comments, questions. If you want to make fun of Will's haircut, whatever you want. Like I said, I don't proof anything. I'll just put the comment up.
I've been getting the same haircut since I was 0. So if you haven't made fun of it by now, you're way late to the game.
You know, I met you early 2000s, somewhere in there. It had to be. It had been like 2002, 2003.
I had one kid at the time. So, yeah.
No, that would have been 2 kids. That would have been 2 kids.
Were there 2? Okay.
Yeah, at that point. But we weren't streaming yet. I was on the sidelines at Homedale taking pictures with my cool digital camera, and you were still working for Channel 6, and you had your great big $100,000 camera, and that's where we first met a very, very long time ago. And you had that same haircut then.
I'm sure I did. Yes,
you did.
I might have even had this shirt too.
I think you were wearing the same shirt. You've lost a lot of weight since then. I'll give you that. You have lost a lot of weight.
Small victory.
There you go, Will.
Good on you. Good on you. Well, guys, let's start things off with the game of the week. Y'all remember what the game of the week was? It was Carey versus Murtaugh. Carey came out on that one, and they're now 1-0, 16-6. Stockton Sears, it's a name we're familiar with over there. Scored the first TD of the game on a 4th down screen pass. Jonah Saili hit Gabe Saili for the 2-point conversion. Carey led 8-0, and on it went. From there, you know, it was just kind of it was Carey's ball game. So, guys, how's Carey looking? We'll talk about this more, but, you know, Carey, they're 1-0, beating a Murtaugh team 16-6. Are they going to be the Carey like we're used to seeing, Coach?
So, I was at that game, of course, checking the Panthers out and seeing what the Devils had to offer. And it was a battle in the trenches. I mean, center field is ripped up, shredded up. I think there were 6 times the ball got turned over on 4th downs. A couple of turnovers as well to just keep the whole game balanced. But really, the thing that turned the game is right after Murtaugh had scored that first 6 points, the kickoff was returned by Stockton Sears, real clean down the visitor sideline, and then that extra point kind of sealed the deal, and then it was just war from there on out. But, Panthers defense still holding solid. The offense has got a few things to work on, which I think Coach Saili is aware of, and they'll get there. But Murtaugh and Carey battled it out in the trenches there with two new quarterbacks, Sawyer Young gone and Preston Wood gone. And so some things happened there where teams got broken in a full game in battle, and the Panthers came out with a 10-point victory.
Yeah, it's a good win for Carey to start the year. No question about it. I was impressed with Murtaugh. I mean, that's a road game up against Carey, and I don't care if Carey is 1A. They're kind of the King Kong of 8-man football and have been for quite some time. Coach, you know this better than anybody because you were the one that was telling King Kong where to go for many of those years. But Murtaugh to go in there, no Sawyer Young, they got some faces, they got some new kids in big roles, and they went up there and they traded punches with a hell of a program. I'm sure that the scoreboard operator, that nice shiny new scoreboard operator that you got, the operator appreciates the fact you didn't burn out any light bulbs in game one. I expect both teams will continue to get better, get more fluid. Coach, you mentioned both teams breaking in new quarterbacks, and let's not overlook that. Both defenses are good, but at the same time, some new kids on both sides settling into new roles. I expect both teams to get much more efficient as the year goes on.
And of course, Carey playing Butte County at Arco this weekend. So that should be an interesting. One thing I did fail to mention is that the 8-man Prepcast is presented by idsaves.org, the Ideal Idaho Savings Program. We're going to be doing that same contest we did last year, where the winner gets $529. It's a 529 account. The winner will get $529 to start that account. We're just working back and forth, and they're finalizing some things on their end, and hopefully by next week we'll be able to announce that contest is ready to go. So make sure you check back at that last year. Do you guys remember who won that last year? Will?
Yeah, Rylan Skinner from Cammy.
There you go. You're right. Good job. Yep, Cammy Kid won that, and not the Cammy Kid. He's way too
no, not the Cammy Kid.
No,
that's Kenny Hobart, the one and only.
It's but yeah, it's very cool what they do, and they partnered with us to really get the word out, especially in the small rural schools, and so we're looking forward to hopefully getting that out next week. So what we do after the initial game of the week, we go right into the Coach's Corner, featuring our man right there on the bottom, featuring Coach Kirkland. It's a segment where we kind of take you behind the scenes and behind the headsets into the minds and hearts of the coaches who lead Idaho's high school football programs. And Coach Kirkland, from this point, we just let you take it away.
Very good. We'll give it a shot. This week was a lot of fun to prepare for and getting ready for this segment. I have two other ones that are in the on deck and ready to go for the upcoming weeks. Thank you, coaches, for filling out that form and getting things coming your way. We're going to try and reach out to every district across the state this year in every division as the weeks go by. And I felt like it was to get started in my second edition here, I would stay right here at home and feature Coach Lane Durchie, one of the longest serving assistant coaches in the Carey program for 20 seasons now. And I would bet my house that he has the winningest record as an assistant coach and being like the defensive coordinator now for 10 seasons. So, Will, if you'll flash that first slide up there. Paul. There's Paul going. That's defensive coordinator Lane Durchie of the Carey Panthers. Coach Durchie has been a part of Carey football for 20 seasons now. He's won 6 state championships, 5 runner-ups, and 5 third-place finishes in his stint at Carey School, and still going strong. Through it all, he's remained focused on effort, relationships, and building young men into leaders. Where did Coach Durchie come from? Well, he's from Idaho Falls. He's a Bonneville Bee from back in the day. And his love was forged early on in the sports of football, baseball, and basketball with his 5 brothers and all of his neighborhood friends. He says he would run home from elementary school and junior high, knock out the chores, head for the field or for the court, and just go until the lights were out and the sun said goodnight. That was an early environment for him and his competition, and camaraderie laid the foundation of a lifelong love for the game. Some of his mentors, as he has gone about his life and his coaching, have influenced him a great deal. Big Al Gardner, Robbie Sayre, Jerry Couch, famous Bliss name, Lane Kirkland, and old Lee Cook. I first met Coach Durchie at ISU in 1997 as a student while we were getting our teaching certification. We went to classes together for a couple of years, and then Coach went off to Bliss for 7 or 8 years. I went to Oakley and then to Wood River, and eventually Coach showed back up in Carey in 05 as a new science teacher. Coach was very busy in Bliss, coaching a lot of basketball. I think he coached the girls and boys, JV and varsity for a couple of seasons. And he really wasn't interested in coaching when he first got into teaching. That wasn't his plan. He didn't see himself doing that whatsoever. He was told he'd be a better teacher, but he found that coaching connected with kids and stepped into the court and onto the field immediately. And he's been a great influence ever since, and going on strong now for almost 30 years. I first brought Coach Durchie into the 8-man football realm in 2006. We spent the summer working together on the grounds at the school. And while we were there mowing grass, we were scheming and dreaming of a variety of different things that we could make Carey into this powerhouse. And guess what? Coach Durchie's first season as a coach with me as an assistant coach on the O-line and the D-line, we won the state championship. And his influence there and his assistance was absolutely amazing. By 2014, he became the lead defensive coordinator as Lee Cook retired and moved on. Coach's demeanor with athletes has been amazing over this season. In slide number 3, a lesson that he has learned greatly from his coaching is you have a choice in how you treat people. You can find the problems and tear them down, or you can see them as they may become, build them up and express your confidence and love for them. Now, if you've ever had a conversation with Coach Durchie, you know that he's a gentle person. He is a friend right away. He listens well, and he just understands, and he has that great eye contact. And he has that same demeanor with his athletes and is able to connect with them a great deal. His philosophy over the years has grown and evolved into something deeper than just football. And just like Coach Ayers, we're going to hear probably a lot about this season. It's about relationships. And Coach has been preaching this for a long time. It's about helping kids see the greatness in themselves, emphasizing effort over perfection, because we're all not perfect, and not being afraid to laugh. Players respond best when they're supported and when they're having fun. And if you know Coach, he is the fun coach on the squad, and always very light and works well with kids, even if they've made a mistake. When he ask him about his coaching style, that one on the left is what Coach is all about, and it shows big time in his defense. Aggressive and attack. Everything is effort-based, and his phrase, his whole career has been play every play. Forget about the last play, play the next play, play every play. And that's where he stands. And supportive of one another is a huge thing. Camaraderie is taking Carey in a huge direction up, and Coach Durchie has been a huge part of that. So, when he's going to send it. Coach was the first in Carey history to begin the modern 3-front. We are always old school 4-2-2, and that was effective and worked. But as times have changed, and as you've seen different offensive attacks, we now have some defensive attacks, a lot of 3-4 action going on. And when Durchie sends somebody, you don't know where he's coming from, and he'll be there again. You can count on it, and it's not just going to be one coming strong. It'll be 2. Over the last 25 seasons, I would bet my house that the lowest points scored on a team in the last 25 years was going to be Carey at 16. And I just did the math at 16 points allowed per average for the last 25 seasons. And Coach Durchie has been a part of that. He's always about the next man up and making sure that there's guys getting rotated in there constantly, and so that he can build for the rest of the season. And he says you got a choice how you treat people. You can find those problems with them, but you got to express your confidence and love in them, and that will take them a long ways. What's the heartbeat of the Carey Panthers this season? Well, to challenge yourself daily and to support each other like family. Here's a shot from the game Friday night. Coach Durchie standing by, watching and preparing for the attack from the Red Devils. The leadership, he says, is cultivated in small steps. And he says if we give our players responsibility and ask them to do one thing and they succeed, we'll build on that, and gradually they'll grow into to great leaders on the field and throughout life. So the separation, he says, between a good and a great coach is this, and the ability to ignore politics and social pressures. Yeah, for sure. And we know that the best coaches are humble, and they focus on the players and the mission and not the noise, and don't get stirred up all the time. A photo there of their championship season this last year. He says when it comes to discipline, his approach is pretty simple. It's got to apply to all. It's got to be fair, and we spin the wheel of death, and that is the real wheel of death right there. And if you pause this sometime after you're watching this broadcast, you can dial in to see the lovely, happy consequences spun by those who show up late or forget things or need reminded how important it is to be a little more dedicated. Coach Saili installed that when he came, and very simple, works very well. And we've always preached that the team that holds itself accountable and supports each other is the one that's going to go very far. I had to get a drink of water there. So spinning the wheel of death and being accountable to one another is where the Panthers stand. The returning state champion Carey Panthers team has a lot to be excited about this season. You see some names scattered around there of some seniors and some junior Madden Perks, but it's focused on individual and team growth. He says the defense is always ahead of the offense early on, which is typical. The Blue Angels have to practice to fly together. They don't go on the defense, but they take care of one another, and they'll catch up, and they always do. I know we usually focus about 75% offense, 25% defense those first 2 weeks, and they're still doing that today to get ready for games. So I expect that the offense to score a little more this next week against Butte County, and the defense to hold strong once again. Coach always felt that finding the right person to put in the spot is critical. We have spent hours and hours talking after and before and during practice about the right personnel, and you all know that that's critical. And Coach is all about playing the best player. He's not favorites, man. He is not favorites. He can't win with favorites. He can't just hope in favorites. You got to play the best player, and he's going to get him in there, and he's going to give some others a chance so he has a glimpse of what the potential might be and build from there and get depth, because sometimes the defense is on the field a long time. The goal for the season, get the team to gel. It's critical. Put the players in positions to succeed. Communicate clearly with them and make sure they understand and they know what's going on, and support and love each other like family. And that photo was taken after our back-to-back championship in 2018, Coach and I's 5th state championship together, and Coach Ailey's 2nd, now in his 3rd. But those are things that Coach Durchie has preached for a long time, and he says we got to make sure we get our dudes. We got to control the dudes on the other side and make sure that we take care of those guys, and then everything will be all right. Well, what about the community of Carey? He says Carey's is on Friday nights is like a family reunion, just like any of our other small towns. 50 of you are related, and the other 50 you'll find out later that you're related, and the next 50 you'll be related to soon enough. Just give your kids a chance to grow up, right? And that's Carey. It's alumni supported. There are former state champions and former players attend games with us in every location that we have a game. If it's over in the Boise area, if it's in the Dome, if it's even up in Moscow, the alumni seems to show up just like your other towns, to Carey in particular. It's a place to be. I mean, there's nothing else to do. So go to the game, check it out, and see what the Panthers are up to, and check out that new scoreboard, which is huge, by the way. It's 24/18. Appreciate some great sponsors for helping that out. What are some traditions that Carey has that they still continue to do? Well, they do the midnight mile. They did it again this year. Kicked those lights on, ran a mile at midnight, And we've been running the mile to start practice on the first day for the last 45 seasons. And that's a tradition I don't know will ever go away. Running up Queen's Crown. You can see the boys at the top right there circled on top of the crown. The mountain in between Peekaboo and Carey sits about 600 feet off the roadway there, and there's a 200-foot drop. They do a rally. The freshmen sing a song like you sing on the left right there, and then they come up with the chant before each game up on the mountaintop, and then the center hikes the ball to the quarterback, and he throws it off the cliff down the mountain, and they rally and run off the edge, down the smooth side, I should say, and that's their second Friday night of practice together. That's a tradition that's been there quite a while, and we've had some pretty famous speakers go up there as well, and speak to the kids. So those some tradition there that the mothers are always feeding us as well. That's been a pretty cool thing. And we're singing the school fight song. We started, I believe, in 2017, and we still do that today, win or lose, and bringing the community together, and a lot of school pride going on there. Also Thursdays at practice, the freshmen are singing a song, whatever they come up with, to whatever tune there is out there. It's not initiation. It's just what we do. And they know it, and they prepare, and it's a lot of fun to keep us light. And there's some pretty good ones over the years to a lot of famous folks. All right, what else here? Coach's personal life here. He likes to recharge by getting away and spending time with his family. I don't have a slide for that, but he's always involved with his family and doing work for the neighbors. What are some of his other talents that some of you have seen? And I think Friday night, this next slide, Paul, is what Coach Durchie was doing, putting shoulders back in. Board certified. He's not board certified. Heck no. Oh, my slide got messed up. But he's put so many dislocated shoulders back in, so many knees popped out. Yes, and they've looked like that. Fingers that have looked like that or worse, and all of them, by the way. And he's also the team psychiatrist, the team counselor. This guy does it all. And I think Friday night there was a player from Murtaugh whose shoulder had popped out, and immediately our coaches turned to Coach Durchie and said, "Go put that back in." And I'm pretty sure he popped it right back in because the kid kind of moved his shoulder around a little bit. He felt better all of a sudden. And we don't go to the doctor. We go to Coach Durchie, because he gets it fixed right now and for free with a hug. So we appreciate that over the seasons from Coach Durchie. To finish up here, what are some of the quick hitters that Coach is all about here? His favorite call is the double-edged twist when we get in the red zone. And this guy has made more red zone stops than you can count. Some historic ones, incredible red zone stops that could never leave my memory. One thing you don't know about Coach, he grew up in Idaho Falls with 9 siblings and an amazing, pretty much single mom. He survived, and he has some great stories to tell from that. And he's so humble from that, and understands kids who are in that situation and relates to them amazingly. Him and his wife, Nancy, been married for 30 years. They have 4 kids, a set of twins, and 6 grandkids. And his newest one came August 28th. Down in southern Utah. Her name's Elsie, and he says his wife Nancy is the secret to his success. Now, Coach isn't biased with the post-game meal or the pre-game meal. He's picking them all. The 93 in Carey, the Peekaboo Angler in Peekaboo, and the Oasis, the only gas station in town. And our concessions are pretty good too. One piece of advice Coach would give to 8-man new coaches would be humble. Get loyal people on staff. Be organized. Laugh often. Don't let pressure affect how you treat the team and how you treat your family. And Coach lives by every single one of those. So thank you, Coach, for sharing those tidbits with us. And that is assistant coach and head defensive coordinator Lane Durchie of the Carey Panthers. That's all, folks. Join us next week when we're going to go up north and meet a couple of coaches up there in the next 2 weeks. that have already submitted awesome photos and some great responses to the questions. Hope we can continue to honor you guys and the hard work that you do and the great men that you are and the influence you are to these young athletes and your community. So keep it up, fellas.
Help dreams come true with the Ideal 529 Education Savings Program. Our easy-to-use tools make it simple to plan for your child's education. With tax benefits and ownership flexibility, Ideal is the perfect way to save for college, trade school, apprenticeships, K-12 education, and student loan repayment nationwide. Join us at our next webinar to learn more about the 529 plan. Enrolling takes just 15 minutes, and you can start with just $25. Visit idsaves.org to learn more.
All right, guys, welcome back. Coach, another great Coach's Corner segment. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the year and to see who else you bring on. I do have a question about when you throw the football over the hill. It kind of sounds like the train station in Yellowstone. Is there just like a pile of footballs at the bottom of this hill?
You know, I offered a $20 bill to some kids a couple of years after we started doing that to go find one of those, and I have one. Yeah.
Really? Nice.
I do. Yeah, I have the original 2017 ball. So it just launches. It's pretty. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, well, let's get into it. First off, we do have some comments, and we're going to go through some of these. Of course, Mr. Lee J. Cook, the young Lee Cook. You said the old one was old. Go Panthers. Nice job, guys. Always enjoy this show. Will, you commented. Hey, guys, is that a little self-serving, but we'll take it. And, of course, Ryan Hatfield out of Council, our biggest fan in Council. Go Lumberjacks. We also have one from the Wallace Minor Athletics account. Let's go, Wallace. # Minor Pride. We're like the WSU flag in this chat, only different. All right. Keep those comments coming in. We'll read them ahead of time and then bring them up. But, yeah, keep those coming in. Of course, make sure you throw a like down as well as you're watching so that this can get seen by more people. All right, guys, let's take off down into the recap of last weekend. Start up Sawtooth Conference there in District 4. Kind of a runaway game, guys. Hanson 70, Rimrock 6. The Huskies took it to the Raiders. Only 120 yards of offense. Do you guys have anything else? I know it's kind of tough to get info on some of these teams, but what else do you have on this game?
I might could comment there, and I didn't get any stats, but if Aiden Orozco is playing football, I imagine he had about 200 yards or more rushing. The kid is a sprinter in track and field, and he is fast. And I know that if he would ever get the ball on the outside or on the inside, he could get to the outside in time with no one around and pay dirt. But, I imagine that's what Hanson was up to there. And without Ronaldo Gomez from the Rimrock Raiders, might be figuring a few things out to start this season, but I'm sure they'll come around.
Yeah, you got the Sawtooth Conference. You know, whenever Carey's in it, you just kind of put them up in line 1 or maybe line 2, depending on how a season shakes out over the course of time. The question is, who's going to be that challenger? Traditionally, Dietrich's been up there, but we've seen Castleford in the past. We've seen Camas County in the past. This year, there could be a couple of different ones. Maybe Hanson is it. Maybe Richfield is it. Maybe it's somebody else. But, you know, who's going to be that team? Who's going to be that team that tries on the glass slipper and sees if they can make a little run?
All right, next game, another kind of a blowout. Richfield 72, Water Springs 16. Water Springs, a team that's had some success over the years. This year, losing to Richfield in the opener. What do you guys got on Richfield?
So I got a hold of Matt Kent, the new head coach there in Richfield, and visited with him for just a little bit. And his first comments were, he says, I felt sorry for Water Springs. He says they had 11 kids on the roster. They dressed 9. And at some point in the game, there were 7 of them on the field. And so coach was kind in his first game and set one of his off to the side and went 7-on-7 until another Water Springs player could return to the field. He says Devin Scott had some pretty good touches, and their defense held strong, causing a few turnovers, and everybody got to play in that game. I'm sure Water Springs will learn from that game as well. But Richfield scoring 72, got to be pretty happy about that first game.
Yeah, Devin Scott feels like he's been there for a long time, and I think he's still only a junior.
It's one of those COVID juniors, right?
Yeah, couple of NIL transfers, 24 years old, been around for 1,000 years. Now he started as a freshman, and when you get into that third year starting and you still got another year to go, that's some good game savvy and some good experience that you're going to have for a while if you're Richfield.
All right, guys, let's head up to District 5-6, Rocky Mountain Conference. This one, Rockland Show Band. This was played at the ICCU Dome, Holt Arena, in game one of the Rocky Mountain Rumble. And I've been a part of the Rocky Mountain Rumble with Idaho Sports doing those games for a long time. I think this was the 18th year of the Rocky Mountain Rumble. We've been broadcasting them for a long time as well. But this was the first time I remember an 8-man game being played. And there were a couple of teams that backed out a week or two before the Rumble happened, so they had to move. Then they had an opening and inviting Rockland and Show Band. Exciting for these kids. It was the first game on Friday. We were there early getting set up, and these kids were just both teams warming up. You could just tell they were excited. It's the ICCU Dome, 2 8-man team, so it was pretty cavernous, right, on a Friday afternoon. But these kids had fun, and the score was Rockland 58, Show Band 0. But Show Band has some big boys, and they are tough. And that's the one thing I noticed out of Show Band. There was never any quit. Rockland is good. Rockland's very, very good. Show Band, even though they didn't score, they showed a lot of promise. They got a lot of size, and they had a lot of heart.
They've always had a few athletes over there in Show Band. You see it in basketball. They're competitive in basketball. They're competitive in other places. But as it was explained to me in the preseason, with this Show Band team, they got a few kids who can do some things. And, Paul, you saw it firsthand. They got some kids who can play. They've just got to learn how to play. And you cannot replicate game reps. You cannot replicate game experience. And it'll come. It's still a fairly young team. And I really hope they're able to stick with it and keep growing it, because I think they got a chance to do something here in a couple of years. In Rockland, I'm telling you right now, don't sleep on them. I think a lot of people are obviously very high on Carey, justified. And there are a couple of teams in the long pin that I think have a real chance to make some noise in November. Don't sleep on Rockland. If they can stay healthy, they have an array of playmakers inside, outside, front, and back.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Yeah, go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I agree with that, Will, and I agree with your Show Band comment. They will figure out how to play football. You've been off for 5-6 seasons now. They can only improve from there, and I think the enthusiasm has started now. And playing in the Dome, I can't be any better. Goodness, that's amazing. That's awesome. Yep. And with Rockland, those guys are back. When you get returning kids come back that are off of injuries, just like Kendrick does, and they're playing now, that fuels confidence and that fuels enthusiasm for the game, and the execution cleans up because everybody's back, and I think they are going to be deadly as well.
Isaac Held was our IdahoSports.com player of the game. Had 102 total yards, 3 touchdowns, had 1 rush for 41 yards and a score, and he caught 2 passes for 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he kind of did, and he threw them to himself. That's what was great. He just kidding. He did not.
He snapped to himself too.
He snapped it, threw it, and caught the ball, and he blocked for himself. The kid just was everywhere.
You cannot teach that kind of versatility.
It was really good. So the next one, there was a lot of blowouts, and really, and we talk about this every year, I guess. Early in the season, you see blowouts until teams really, get their feet under them. They get injuries, whatever. Sometimes there's blowouts early on. Mackey Dietrich was another one, 38-0. Royley Jones, Graydon Bruley, Kyron Follett for Mackey. They were the stars there. Dax, Tykert, Cooper Holt. It's just a well-balanced team for Mackey, which is good to see. A few years ago, Mackey combined with Butte County to form Lost Rivers and went to a championship game. They didn't have enough players. And here they are looking like they could make some noise there in that Rocky Mountain Conference.
And speaking to Coach Garrett Estelle for 15 or 20 minutes the other day on the way back from the Eastern Idaho Fair, I pulled over so I'd still have service because I wanted to hear what Coach Estelle was going on over there. And he said Chase Norman didn't play in that game, still suffering from a high ankle sprain from the Jamboree a week ago, and one of his O-line starters not yet with 10 practices, so missing a few guys. But his first words were compliments to Mackey. He says, that was a good team. they did some great things to start the game, and we just couldn't quite catch up. We made a few mistakes here and there, but he says Mackey came to play and put the hurt to them while they were down a little bit. But all compliments to the Mackey Miners for sure.
Good young team. They've got a bright future ahead of them, and that's a good win for them to get things going.
You know, Jones, the quarterback, 11 of 19, 128 yards, 2 TDs, 1 interception, had a rush touchdown. But, you know, Dax and Cooper, 4 catches each, 65, 39 yards. So we've got a quarterback, and you've got kids that can catch, right? That's really the 1-2 punch you need. Plus they've got, you know, Bruley and Bullet that can carry the football as well. Next up, North Gem 48, Camas County 12. Cowboys and the Mushers. Yost, 2 of 3, 21 yards, 20 carries, 285 yards, 15 tackles, a sack, and interception. For Camas County, Caden Hathaway, 2 touchdowns. So Camas County, couple years, and this is what happens in the smaller schools, right? You get your stud athletes come through, you have a good year, and then you don't, and you kind of go back and you rebuild and you wait, and that's kind of where Camas County is. And so seeing them lose to North Gem 48-12. I'm happy for North Gem. You know, that's a program that doesn't get a lot of pub, as they say in the biz, Will. But coming out beating a team like that 48-12 has to bode well for their season.
I'm going to fly the banner. I'm going to start it right now. Craig Yost, 1A Player of the Year candidate. Everybody in about a 500-mile radius knows what North Gem is going to do. And head coach Corey Hatch is not afraid to tell people, here's what we're going to do. Everybody knows they're going to pound the football. It's going to start with the quarterback. You're going to have some read. You're going to have some option. But it's all going to run through that quarterback, who this year is Craig Yost. He was All-State last year as a fullback, now as a quarterback. And you go out and, you put up 285 yards. I don't care who you're doing it against. That's an impressive day's work. And this is I believe the number I heard was 12 on the roster, 5 of which are freshmen. So he's leading a young team, an inexperienced team, and everybody knows it's going through him. He keeps doing that. I think he's going to make a hell of a compelling case to be the 1A Player of the Year in Idaho.
And it's not just mindless pounding. It's strategic pounding. It's repped pounding, and those guys are great at that. And with 12 players on the team, that thing's only going to clean up more and more as the season goes along there. And Coach Hatch has got to be satisfied with that first 48 points this year.
All right, got a quick comment from Aaron Held. Let's go, Rockland. Cheering on the team. I like it. Like it. Get your comment in, guys. All right, guys, let's go to the North Star League, way up north. And we're talking way up north because this is Court of Christ and Clark Fork. Clark Fork is, I don't know if either one of you have been to Clark Fork. It's beautiful. In fact, when I went, I figured you had.
Yep.
I went there for a game. Castleford, I think, was the playoff game, if I remember right. But I told my son, hey, if I disappear and no one knows where I'm at, I'm here. I'm in Clark Fork. It's just beautiful, middle of nowhere. So I'm a Clark Fork fan just because of location. But they dropped it to Court of Christ. Court of Christ won 64-28. What do you guys got on this one, Will?
Court of Christ is going to score points this year. They're very talented. They're very skilled. They're very quick. John Danke's a really good player. Grant Clemens at quarterback. You got a number of players who can do some damage. I think the thing that's gonna tell the tale for them is, are they going to be able to make enough stops? And here early in the season, they have. And if they continue to progress on defense, they have a chance to do some damage too, because they're a good team. And as for Clark Fork, since I'm flying some banners, I got Craig Yost as my 1A Player of the Year. You're talking about Clark Fork, that area. People love McCall. People love Sun Valley. I will take Lake Ponderay over both of them 100 times out of 100.
Yep, I agree. And for Clark Fork, Coach, Chapman and Cruz, that's a pretty good 1-2 punch they've got.
Yeah, they just continue to work with that duo there, and they'll excel as things go along throughout the season. It's this beginning game. Impressed with Clemens and 4 touchdowns, and his dad's coaching them up there. That's kind of fun to do. So keep an eye on those guys. Defense wins ball games, and both will improve.
All right, guys, let's go to the White Pine. They're in District 2. Lewis County and Troy. I remember, I think it was the weekend before they had to move Lewis County They had to move their game because of smoke, which is always a good time. But Lewis County beats Troy 38-6. Will, Lewis County, the Eagles, a co-op team up there in District 2. Have you had a chance to watch Lewis County play before?
Have I? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not this year, obviously, but in the past, I've seen them at least 2 or 3 times, like with my own eyes.
Okay, so you wrote most of the 8-man previews in our football previews. So Lewis County, Troy, 38-6. In your expert opinion, is that how you kind of saw that one going?
Ish, yeah. I thought it might have been a little bit closer. Lewis County, a younger team working in some new faces again, but Jace Krantz, a heck of a player that they got there. But Troy is, for whatever reason, they're just having a hard time getting that football thing going. They've had some good years in basketball. They've had some tremendous years in baseball. So we know the athletes are there. And for whatever reason, they're just having a hard time translating it to the football field. And you got to figure there's going to come a day. It could be this week. It could be this month. It could be next month. It's going to start to click a little bit. And it's going to be fun when it does, because like I say, they got some decent athletes up there. They just need to have some success and start building off it.
Coach, anything on that one?
Not much. I'm not familiar with those schools a whole lot like I need to, like Will is. He's the expert, so we'll let that
Really
is. Thanks, Will. Yeah.
I feel like you guys are mocking me a little bit.
No,
Never.
You have the fan above you to keep you cool. You're good.
Yeah, it's not on though, so it's
Notice
a
it's
little
not
warm
on.
in here.
Yeah. Size 8.5 head. About what that is.
Not quite. 7 7/8.
Not quite. I was kidding, but there we go.
All
right, another one.
How many times have we shared a booth and I always have to make the headset bigger? You got your little peanut head.
I do. And anytime I get Idaho sports hats, I can't give you one because they're always too small.
I know. Figure it out.
Your brain is so big. Your brain is so big.
It is. It's a vat of useless knowledge.
Genesee 50, Salmon River 20 on this one. Both teams struggled in the past few years. Genesee, I believe, was looking to be a little bit more of a bright spot this year. 50-20. Will, were you at this game?
No, I thought about it, but ultimately
you
did
sent
not.
me a picture. You sent me a picture. Where did that picture come from?
The picture on Friday?
Didn't you send me a picture of
Notice.
Charlie Shepard working water boy?
Yeah, Notice, because his son coaches Notice now.
Oh, that was at Notice. Okay, that all makes a lot more sense now. I was like, wow, you really traveled. So yeah, Will, go ahead and tell the story of that picture real quick, because that was great. I wish I'd have had it. Put it up.
I went to the Notice game, and we'll work our way back down because they hosted Garden Valley, and Charlie Shepard Jr., who, Coach, I'm sure you know him well. I'm sure he had a game or two against you in his day. A heck of a ball player, went and played at College of Idaho, had been an assistant coach at Homedale for a couple years. He's now the head coach at Notice. So I went to the Notice game, said hi to Charlie Jr., and sure enough, I look up and I'm like, there's Charlie Sr. right there. And he's, handing out water bottles, standing on the sideline, just talking to the coaches, talking to kids, talking to whoever. And my comment to Paul was, I know that those kids understand that that's their head coach's dad. I wonder if they're able to appreciate the fact that he's one of the most successful 8-man football coaches ever in the state of Idaho. And he's just hanging out there, watching the game, talking to them, talking to the coaches.
Giving them water.
It was a cool moment for me. I mean, it was a cool moment for me. I hope it was for them too.
Yeah, that's way cool. It's kind of how those Carey kids feel when Coach Kirkland comes around. Just that awe, that sense of awe. But
thanks, Paul. Yeah. That was amazing. I feel big now.
Well, not to make Will's head any bigger, but Monty says, no mockery, Will, legitimate respect. More often than not, you're not wrong. Go Eagles.
All right. I like to hear it.
You got a fan.
I do.
All right, guys. Let's but actually we never actually talked about the game. We kind of went right into it. So Genesee Salmon River, Will, go.
Genesee's a good team. They're going to be in the running very much for the 1A White Pine title and a playoff spot. It's a good-looking, well-rounded program. Cameron Holmes, Conrad Subert, Carson Warner Hall had a really nice game. It's a Jackson Banks, the quarterback. It's a good team, and they're going to be competitive, and they're going to win some games this year.
One thing with the stats, is 5 defenders had double-digit tackles. You mentioned Warner Hall, Holmes, Subert, Levitt, Gerolimek. 14 tackles, 15 tackles, 10, 10, and 10. That's a lot of tackles. You're looking at Salmon River's quarterback and running backs, anybody that touched the ball, laying on their back quite a lot. That's a lot of tackles in a game, and here they are shared by 5 guys. I mean, that's not a bad night's work for that defense.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure that I've seen a stat like that where there's very many times where 5 guys in double digits, but I do believe that the Bulldogs are going to have a great year up there, and that's a great way to get it started, and defense wins games.
All right, guys, up next, Longpin, District 3, getting a little closer to home for Will and a little bit more to Coach Kirkland. Council, another blowout. Council, 54, Lakeside 0. Guys, this one was played, I believe, at Homedale. This one was broadcast on Idaho Sports.
This one was at Prairie in Cottonwood.
Okay, so it was in Prairie, still on Idaho Sports.
Yes, it was.
So Hayden was on that one. And I think there's a play or two on our Plays of the Week. If you go to our Facebook page, we posted our Plays of the Week from our game streams last weekend up there. And there's a play on this one. But Jim Tucker, Brody Davis, 11 carries, 235 yards, 5 TDs, 1 interception. Guys, how does Council really look this year? And just keep in mind, Ryan's watching. Ryan Hatfield is watching. So he's taking notes.
You first, Will.
Okay, I'll do it.
Break the ice.
When I said earlier that Rockland was one of the teams that I felt like had a good chance to compete for a 1A crown, one of the teams they're going to be competing with is Council. It was a really good team last year. They have almost everybody back. They've got an experienced, explosive quarterback. They got a handful of really talented skill players, Jimmy Tucker being one, Garrison Zielinski being another. I could go down the list. One of the state's top 2A linemen in Remington Crowell. This is a team that has all the pieces that you could want. They've just got to avoid the first round of the playoffs. Has tripped them up the last couple of years. They're good enough to play well beyond that. They've definitely got the talent, and they showed it on Friday against Lakeside.
Yeah, I agree with you, Will. I think Council is going to be a tough team to match up with. When you have your quarterback coming back and a couple other dudes to go along with him here, and a disappointing end to a season last year, I think that the commitment is up this season, and I think the desire to go further is there, and they do have the guys to make it happen. So it should be fun to watch over there in the Longpin as they battle it out with Tri-Valley and Garden Valley. Those top 3 spots always in the mix. Those guys are, and we'll see if they can advance a little further this year. But one game at a time. A big victory to start with over Lakeside, though, 54-0.
Now, speaking of Garden Valley, that's our next game. Garden Valley beat Notice 34-14. Will, that's the one you were at.
Yes,
correct?
I was. Yep.
Correct. So go ahead and talk to us about what you saw there.
Well, one thing, Coach, that Paul, you weren't on the show last week, but Coach, one of the things we talked about is how they used a couple of quarterbacks, and neither of them were named Max Yearsley. Well, that was sort of true. Max injured his shoulder collarbone first drive of the season, and so he's going to be on the shelf for a little while. So they're running some guys through. I think they had either 3 or 4 different players take snaps, depending on the package, depending on the situation, on Friday, and they look a lot like last year's Garden Valley team in that they have some big, strong running backs, and they play good defense. They're not going to get if they take care of the ball, it's going to be hard to run over them because they're big and they're strong, and they're able to with their running game. With Marshall Coley, who had another strong game, with Peyton Kelly, and who played some quarterback, with some of these guys that they're able to run through at the various running back position and the receiver position, Cody Perrin, Tyler Rowland. They've got a lot of guys who can make enough plays where they're going to be feisty. They may not be the quote unquote front runner, but they're not going to be a pushover either. They're going to be a solid team. And if they're able to get Max Yearsley back at any point, that adds an element of explosiveness to them on both sides of the football that's just going to make them even more dangerous.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed coaching against Garden Valley and visiting with Jason Yearsley over the years. Respect him a great deal. And looks like he got some things figured out this week on the offense and put up a few more points on the board. I think those came late in the game, right, Will?
Yeah, it was a one-score game about halfway through the fourth quarter, and then his offense came through and with a couple of big possessions and a couple of big touchdowns to salt it away.
So yeah, and being close to Boise, sometimes kids move in and out of there that can assist in that program. But with a coach like Yearsley and those great players that they have and develop over this season, I think they'll only continue to get better and challenge for that long pin championship.
In Payson, Kelly, years and years ago, I was at Garden Valley. I think we were doing basketball at the time. Kobe Kelly playing, and Payson a lot younger, right? And just hearing what was going on, people talking. Payson, they were expecting to be the best athlete of that Kobe, that Kelly clan coming through. So I'm excited to see him. I know basketball's a long ways off, but I'm excited to see just how true that is. There's a lot of pressure on that younger brother coming up after big brothers like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
He was a special one, and I believe he's still playing basketball somewhere at the college level, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I looked it up. Red shirt season. I'm not, like I said, I think he's at ISU.
Okay.
Don't beat me up if I'm wrong, but I think
You're right.
Before we go on to this comment, I've noticed there's one like. There's a lot of people watching. Okay, people, I'm not going to say another word until you go down and you like it right now on Facebook, X, YouTube, whatever we're on. Hit the like button right now.
Okay, while Paul is being quiet, since we just talked about the Notice game, I want to mention Mark Lungo, the running back for Notice, a good young playmaker for them. He had a nice game.
Yeah, there's not enough. I'm not talking. Okay. All right, we'll go. We'll go to a comment. Hayden, he was on the broadcast. You want cut? You might remember the name from the Prairie Pirates years ago. He's now broadcasting IdahoSports.com up there. He said, Council, really good. I was impressed. Lakeside has some work to do. Lots of interesting formation. So Hayden is and if you've watched any of our other shows, he's been on pretty much every show we've done during the week. Game Day, North Idaho Prepcast. Today, I believe he was on and commenting now. So I think his voice is him and Brandon are both resting their voices tonight or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Pace yourself, young man. Pace yourself. It's a long season.
Got another comment from Jackie. She liked it. Thank you. Go Cubs. See, you just have to ask. You have to ask nicely and protest.
So we're up to 2 now?
Yeah, 9. 9, actually.
9 likes?
Yeah.
We went from 1 to 9 and you're complaining?
Well, based on how many people are watching, yeah. Got a lot of work to do, people. Takes 2 seconds.
Let's set a goal at 25 for the night here.
See, I want to get more likes than Brandon usually gets. He's always shilling for likes and stuff. I just want to say, hey, the show that I hosted got, way more likes than yours did. That's all I really care about. That's all I care about.
We should talk more about haircuts. I think that's been the driving force here tonight.
Talk about what?
Haircuts.
I actually did. I got my haircut in Pocatello at a Sports Clips before the Rocky Mountain Rumble. Sampling
the local culture there, huh? By going to a Sports Clips.
Tisha did a fantastic job. You get the MVP at Sports Clips. Anything less is unacceptable.
No,
right,
sure.
As a single guy, you get that massage scalp and the shoulder rub, and I get my haircut every day now, just to look my best. It's fantastic.
In Pocatello.
I drive to Pocatello. She was that good. Yes. Horseshoe Bend Wilder before it goes too far off the rails, which it could. Horseshoe Bend beat Wilder 36-14. Not a lot of close games. This one wasn't either. I don't think there's going to be any more down the list either, guys. But Lakota, how do you say it? I don't want to say it wrong. Innes. Thank you.
Innes.
4 rushing touchdowns. Austin Fisher nailed that one with 3 interceptions. Anything on this one you guys want to talk about?
I will tell you, my opinion, the play of the week happened in that game. It was a Wilder punt return. Ezra Johnson went back to field it, and right as he caught it, he got hit, knocked the ball loose. So he and the defender fall down. Well, the ball just sat there while everybody else was running downfield. He had enough time to get up, pick it up, and return it for a touchdown and broke about 3 tackles along the way. It was one of those things that, you see on Sports Center and they play the little da-na-na music. It was one of those moments where it's like, that is one hell of an individual effort. And it unfortunately was in a losing cause, but it would have been real easy for him to just lay on the ground and be upset that he dropped the ball, but instead he got up, he picked it up, and he made a tremendous play.
Yeah, that's cool. That never quit attitude. I love seeing that. At any level, I love seeing that. The guys that, and I saw this actually quite a bit in the Rocky Mountain Rumble. A play happens, and the helmet, they get taken off the field. The helmet went flying off. They're hitting water bottles, and nobody's doing anything. I'm like, that's my kid. I'm running down on the field to take care of business on that one. That just doesn't happen at all. But I like seeing and I like hearing those stories about good sportsmanship, whether it's with someone else or even just showing respect for yourself, your team. That goes a lot further than a win-loss, in my opinion.
For sure.
Until I get my own segment like Coach Lane Kirkland, I'll just keep it there.
You should talk to the owner of the company about it.
That guy's a jerk. I'm not talking to him again.
Yeah, fair point.
Not a fan. Not a fan. Adrian, the Antelopes took on Tri-Valley, and they beat them 44-14. Anything, guys? We couldn't find anything.
Well, I know I picked Adrian to win as the returning state champions, and they must be loaded because I think Tri-Valley's loaded. And what a good game for them to start out with. Not the loss, but a lesson, because I think Tri-Valley is going to have a banner year as well. And as they return a lot of great players, and to start off with a tough one like that, I think it's going to actually help them a lot. They know that, and I think we're going to see it in the coming weeks from the Titans as they rise, and one of those those top three teams in the long pin to battle for the conference title and trying to go further in that bracket than they did last year. So either way, take it as a loss, but take it as a win, and it'll carry you throughout the season.
I did swap a couple of texts with Coach Wagner at Tri-Valley, and he just said, look, he goes, Adrian, they're no joke, man. And he's like, basically said there's a reason we scheduled them. And Coach, you hit the nail on the head. We wanted to find out about ourselves. We wanted to push ourselves, and they did. And even though you lose this game, it's going to serve them well down the road.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll speak for a minute on that. In 2010, we scheduled Pahranagat Valley out of Alamo, Nevada, and that was they were going for their 48th win in a row. If you know Alamo or Pahranagat at all, they won 103 games in a row was their record, and they eventually were the Nevada state champions. We led those guys at half, 28-24, and then we didn't score again, and we only lost by 16. But that was the best loss we could have ever had because it showed us our weaknesses, and it carried us on to a title that year. And Tri-Valley is looking at that as well. So go Titans.
All right, guys, that does it for the 1As. We're going to take a quick break and be back with our 2A recap. This is the Idaho 8-man Prepcast on IdahoSports.com, presented by Ideal, the Idaho College Savings Program. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Help dreams come true with the Ideal 529 Education Savings Program. Our easy-to-use tools make it simple to plan for your child's education. With tax benefits and ownership flexibility, Ideal is the perfect way to save for college, trade school, apprenticeships, K-12 education, and student loan repayment nationwide. Join us at our next webinar to learn more about the 529 plan. Enrolling takes just 15 minutes, and you can start with just $25. Visit idsaves.org to learn more.
All right, welcome back, guys. Got a couple of comments we need to hit before we move on. Hayden wrote back in, said, Camei Council going to be really good next week. What's your take, Will? Do you want to do it now, or do you want to save it when we do the picks?
Let's save it until we do the picks.
All right, now everybody has to keep watching till the end. I like it. And Tina says, liked. Thanks, Tina. Appreciate it. Make sure everybody keeps on liking. So here we go, the 2As.
What are we up to? What's the tally?
It's 11.
Yeah.
11. So
we're going to get
just
what, Paul? A wise coach once told me this. Slow progress is still progress.
I want it now, Will. I want it all.
Like
I
my
want
daughter.
it now. Yeah. Yes. Camei Lapway. Let's go there. That's a couple of teams that have played each other once or twice over the years. And in this one, Camei comes out on top 42-6. Coach, kind of talk about maybe some of the stats coming in on that.
Yeah, so we got Gavin Schoen here's got a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown, so getting in on the action there. A new coach and a first victory there for Camei. Everett Oatman 129 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, another reception for a touchdown. So Everett getting in on the scoring as well. And then Lawson Landmark also catching a touchdown pass and a rushing touchdown. So 3 guys in there enjoying the glory, crossing the goal line for the Carey High Cubs, keeping the ball rolling and keeping the Cubs in the game and picking up not where they left off. They got a lot of pride in Carey High. Always play tough, always have tough kids. And some of the biggest hits that I've seen over the years, and I've never played against Carey High, but I've watched a lot of film. Some are from the Cubs, and man, they can lay the wood. And they're picking up where they left off. They got some good ball carriers there and some receivers to keep the offense going there.
I'll tell you, you take David Clute out, and he was tremendous athlete, tremendous player. But you still have Schoening, you still have Oatman, you still have Landmark. You got the pieces to be a competitive football team.
Got comment. Speaking of Dave Clute, Kristen, she's still a fan. I like seeing that. Go Cubs. Thanks, Kristen. Thanks for keeping watch. Appreciate that. Okay, up next, guys, one that I think a lot of people are watching every week now. Kendrick over Oakley, 96-8 was the final on that one. 644 yards total offense for Kendrick. Maddox Kirkland, 11 of 16, 270 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, had a rushing touchdown. Cade Silflo, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns receiving. And Orion Stewart, 93 yards and 2 rushing TDs. For Oakley, Camden Cranny, a 1-yard pass to Larry. So Kendrick coming back. Of course, you guys talked about Kendrick and the storylines going on there. Besides the storylines, are they going to be as good as they have been, or at least that much better than everybody else? The first couple of games they've played, Butte County, Oakley, 2 teams that are down this year. Will, what do you think?
I think they've done what they should do against teams that they're better than at this point. And right now they're better than those 2 teams. They're loaded with experience. They're loaded with playmakers. And more important than that, they're loaded in confidence. You cannot walk up to them without your chest puffed out a little bit. They will devour you if you come in the least bit timid, the least bit unsure. And I want to say this. I think this Oakley team, maybe not this month, but as the season goes on and into the next couple of years, I think they're going to be pretty good. They lack some experience, which they're getting right now. And boy, they got some tough experience the other day. But what you could almost see on the field, and I'm sure it was Clay doing the play-by-play, correct, Paul?
It was Clay and Lucas. So I think Lucas was on.
So I'm sure the 2 of them could even vouch for that. Oakley has a couple of pretty nice ball players, but you could almost see the hamster wheel was spinning. They were still trying to think through things. And if you're trying to think, what should I be doing? By the time you figured out what you should be doing, one of those tremendous Kendrick athletes is already by you and has already made the play, whether it's a sack, whether it's a touchdown, whether it's whatever. You just got to get to that point where you can play with enough confidence that you just instinctively are making those reads and making those plays. And I think Oakley will get there. I really do. Just they weren't going to do it on Saturday because Kendrick is already there, and they've been there for 5 years now, 6 years that they've been doing.
Yeah. A compliment to Kendrick. Sometimes you just call plays and they just work. If you've practiced them properly at full speed, your execution is clean, you're just going to score in 1 play or 2 plays. And to get 96 on the board, obviously something clicked there. It's already clicking anyway, but to get 96 is pretty quick. And you know that your offense is done well and executing cleanly, and you don't ask it to do any less than that, or you're not growing as a team. And so, like Will said, they did what they needed to do. And let's compliment Oakley just a little bit as well. Coming off a rough season last year and scheduling Grace and Kendrick, steel sharpening steel. Wow. That's brave. That's guts. Did anybody else do that? And step into the ring? You got annihilated, but you're going to have more chances to step into the ring later on. Grow from that. But just to have guts to go toe to toe with the best, and to still be alive, you'll grow from that and go go forward. So Hornets aren't dead yet. No way.
Okay, so speaking of annihilation, and I don't want to dwell too much on this, but Graham, do you think it's ethical to beat a team by 80 points? Well, first off, Graham, it wasn't 80. To be fair, it was 88. Is it fair to beat a team by 88 points? Coach, you've been on both ends of this. What do you think? Well, maybe you haven't been on the other end of it. You only coach.
Yeah, I can't imagine you ever losing a game by more than like 16.
On average, yes.
I've been mercied a few times, but not very many. I've won a lot, some games by 80. And was it my fault that we had 80 points? I don't think so. It's not our job to hold the score down necessarily if we're trying to execute cleanly. Do we make subs? Yeah. Do we sub down? Yes, that's ethical. Do we ask our subs to play a lot less harder? No. If they're doing their job, and sometimes your subs are just better than the other team, even down to third string. I've seen it, and no disrespect there, but sometimes you're just loaded, and Kendrick's loaded, and so ethical. I don't think that Ty Kep had anything to prove. The Tigers had anything to prove. I think they just went out and did their job, and I'm still sure they shook hands afterward as coaches and congratulated each other and went home and learned some things. That it's tough to swallow, I'm sure. And honestly, it's tough to deal out. It becomes game management sometimes from time to time against certain teams. But you do what you got to do. You keep it as clean as possible. And if the clock ran and you played it out to the end, good job to both teams stepping in the ring.
Coach, they agreed to a running clock before halftime. So I'm with you, Coach. At a certain point, you just call your plays and you let your players play, and you respect the other team by letting them do the same. It doesn't do any good if you break a 50-yard run and then take a knee on the 1-yard line or something like that. That's almost – almost about. It is worse to me than just playing the game out. Oakley will be better for this. I don't think, and Kendrick's done this a couple times in recent years. You got to let your kids play. You got those JV kids, those younger kids that are chomping at the bit for a chance to get on the field and play. You don't tell them, okay, let's take the foot off the gas. We're just going to kneel 4 times and give them the ball back. You got to play. And I get the question. I understand why it can look that way, but I think in the moment you got to play the game. You got to respect your opponent. You got to respect the game. And my opinion from being there, I felt like they did.
Yeah, and on that roster, I mean, again, not defending one or not the other. There's 4 seniors on that Kendrick roster. There's a lot of 9s and a lot of 10s, freshmen and sophomore, on that roster for Kendrick. And so when you put those subs in, like you said, Coach, you're putting in, a few juniors, sophomores, and a lot of freshmen. And sure, you're not going to put in. Hopefully, you don't put in okay, listen, we're just going to throw over everybody and throw a touchdown on first down. Hopefully that doesn't happen, right? But it's a good chance for those freshmen and sophomores to get out there and get real world game experience, right? And that you can't get that in practice. And even if you're going up against a team that you're beating, well, they're still varsity players, right? They're still out there playing harder than your own teammates are against you in practice. So it's tough. It's especially tough on parents and family and the fans of the team that gets beat like that. I understand the uproar over it. But can you stop? I mean, the one game I always go back to, and you probably remember the actual score. I think it was Valley and Lap way up at the Kibbe Dome. I did that game.
108 to 55 or something like that.
I don't think it was 55. I don't think they scored 55. The first quarter took exactly 1 hour because of all the scoring. And Valley, they were running the football. I mean, I remember seeing guys go through the line and turning around going, do I go? What should I do? I mean, there was no animosity. It never got chippy at all because you knew that they weren't trying to blow them out. And like to your point, Bill, it's worse to break free and I'm just going to slide or I'm going to go out of bounds. That's insulting, right? So you're going to play hard with your lower guys and get them experience. And you just really hope that clock just keeps turning as fast as humanly possible to get both of you out of there.
Yeah, I'm sure Oakley didn't necessarily enjoy it, but I do think that just like Kendrick, their whole roster got playing time. they had some younger kids that came in and got some reps, and I guarantee you they're not going to see anybody better than that Kendrick team later this year. So this is invaluable for them too. And I mean, I'm with you guys. And Coach, I think you even said it. It's not necessarily fun to be the team that wins by 88, because you just don't want anybody to get hurt. You're not trying to rub anybody's nose in it. You're just trying to play the game, run your offense, run your defense, and get out of there. And again, I mean, I was there. Lucas and Clay can talk about it. Kendrick was throwing screens. They were running draws. They were running power. It wasn't like they were digging deep into the playbook, in my opinion, trying to rub anybody's nose in it.
Right. And if you flash your underclassmen in there and give them playing time, that's the respect that the losing team needs. And I'm sure that's happening. And I hope it happens with any team that's experiencing that out there, which we have good coaches in Idaho. So keep it up, guys.
All right, let's move on to probably one of the best comments we've ever got on the Prepcast. Paul Kingsbury is a freaking legend, from Doug Swanson. Thanks, Lonnie.
Come on, Doug. Come on. Is that your burner account, Paul?
No. Moving on. Prairie and Deary. Prairie beats Deary 58-8. You guys can both talk about this one. Two North teams. Prairie, of course, Hayden Uhlencott was one of the stud athletes that came out of Prairie. Will, you and I broadcast him I don't know how many times, and now he's broadcasting for us out of Prairie. 58-8. How do you see things going up there up in Prairie? You know Coach Hasselstrom. I'm sure you've talked to him. How does he think things are going to be going the rest of the year?
Well, I know that the coach always has his teams prepared. He did graduate Dylan Uhlencott from up there, who is a great runner. But he's always loaded. He's always prepares, and sounded like he had Deary's number there. I thought the score would honestly be a little bit closer. I know that Deary is not a bad team. And they'll have some things to learn from that game, like we've talked about the entire show. But Prairie always gets things going up there, and Hasselstrom calls a great game. So I expect both teams to improve, just like we've mentioned all night long.
Yeah, I think the 2A White Pine, I think that everybody's assumption is that Kendrick and Logos are going to be out in front of the pack. And I think there's an opportunity for somebody to join them and compete with them. And is that Team Prairie? I think this was a good showing because, Coach, I think you nailed it. I think Prairie was the better team, but I don't think Deary's a bad team. I think that they're a good team that has a good chance to be a 1A playoff team. And anytime you can go out there and put it on a pretty decent opponent, you got to feel pretty good about yourselves. And they may not have some of the quote unquote name power that maybe Prairie has had in the past, but you still got Levi Gehring, who's been around for a while. You got Levi McElroy, the quarterback. You got Chris Shoemaker. You got some players who can do some damage there. And as long as they're tough on the lines, offensive and defensive lines, they'll be competitive.
Yep. Another comment comes in from Cole Peck. Paul, you need a Richfield hat for your wall. Let me know an address and I'll send you one. All these hats behind me were given to me by the schools. And we were actually talking before we went live on the air that I need more hats. So yeah, Cole, shoot me an email, Paul at IdahoSports.com, and I will hang that. I'll probably put the Richfield hat right there is where I'll put it. So shoot
right
me an email.
Your shoulder where no one can see it.
Behind your head.
I hate you both. I'll put it in a
You're the one who said it.
Point the other way.
I can't point, okay? It confuses me. I'm just a dumb caveman. All right, up next, let's do Valley and Butte County. In years past, this would have been a marquee matchup. This year, injuries and just being down, it wasn't. Valley 54-16. Jones 8-15, 107 yards, couple touchdowns, 7 carries, about 30 yards, 2 touchdowns. Vargas 15 carries, 150 yards, 2 catches, 50 yards. So Valley's a team that people have to keep their eye on for sure. They won 54-16. We're going to talk about them in the picks, but I'm excited about that Valley Viking team this year.
Yeah, just being able to watch them in person at the Jamboree a couple of Saturdays ago, I saw some good things. I saw the quarterback Jones picking up almost where Hardy left off, especially in the passing game. It was clean, and they worked a whole offensive series for that 15 minutes of the Jamboree on nothing but passing and executing there. And of course, you got Vargas to back that up when it doesn't go right. But Jones is a great quarterback, and there's some great tools still left over in Valley with a very seasoned staff that's able to get the job done. And Butte County still rebounding just a little bit. They'll bounce back. But that's a stout Valley team, kind of becoming one of the top picks in the Snake River Conference down there on my list. That's rising very quickly.
Brant Jones got a couple of starts last year at quarterback, so he's not your typical first-year quote-unquote starter. He's got a little bit of game experience to him, and he can play a little bit. And that Valley team they're going to be a tough out down there. And I'll say this about Butte County: it has been a rough start. Paul, you alluded to the injuries. Keaton Archibald is out. They're not 100%. They're breaking in some new players on top of that. This is a team that's going to look a lot different in about 4 or 5 weeks, and it's going to basically come down to a one-game season, if you will, when they play Grace. That's the other team in the conference over there. So everything that they want is still in front of them, and they're going to progress. You talk about good coaching staffs. They have a great coaching staff there. Yeah, they're going to get those reps. They're going to get that experience, and they're going to be playing a lot better in about 3 or 4 weeks, and once they continue to move those kids forward.
Yeah, and Valley and Prairie are meeting up in New Plymouth this weekend. That's where I'm actually going to be. Just as a heads up, and I should have told you before, I Will runs the Idaho 8-man account, and you put out the games we're doing. We're actually having to not broadcast Potlatch Oakley this week.
Gotcha.
And because my son was going to be there to kind of run things, and he decided to wreck his motorcycle over the weekend, and he's fine. He's stupid with a motorcycle. Unfortunately, the motorcycle wasn't totaled. He's going to be able to fix it, but dumb kid on a motorcycle, and he's not watching, so I can say that. But he's pretty banged up. Nothing's broken, just beat up. So he's not going to be able to be there. So because my son had a stupid motorcycle, we're not going to be broadcasting Potlatch Oakley, but we will be doing Prairie Valley at New Plymouth. So we can definitely make sure you tune into that one. So up next, we only got a couple games left. Hagerman, and Will, he's stupid. Hagerman 64, Chalice 6. Another big blowout. Hagerman, gentlemen, we were on the sidelines of Hagerman against Logos a couple weeks ago. Fun team to watch. Of course, Maven Camp, Levitt, Kaysen Knight. It's just a fun team. So Hagerman going up to play Kendrick this weekend. We're going to be broadcasting that one. But first, let's talk about this really quick. I don't know anything about Chalice. Okay. Will, I'm guessing you wrote their preview. Hagerman 64-6. Talk. Will, what do you think?
That's a good bounce back for Hagerman after the game against Logos that we were all at and we all saw. That's a really good bounce back win. Chalice has a couple of really, more than a couple, but they've got some tremendous athletes. T. Garrison Applewhite. They got some guys that can make plays, and that Hagerman defense shut them down. That's pretty impressive. And we all knew that the offense was you can't. A guy like Wyatt Mavencamp, he threw for 84 million yards last year and approximately 1,700 touchdowns. You knew it was only a matter of time before he kind of got untracked and did some damage. So one of those ones where maybe the spread is a little bit bigger than I expected it to be, but I think that says a lot more about how well Hagerman played than it does anything about Chalice. I think Chalice will be fine.
Yeah, once again, a great rebound for Hagerman. We knew they could not be contained all season long, and for 6 touchdown passes for Mavencamp, 306 yards. That's where he's going to be all season long. He'll continue to put those numbers up, and as he spreads the ball around a little bit, and Knight gets the ball, they'll get things going. And another lesson learned and improved on already this week.
Quick comment coming in from Lacey Thorngren. Sam's better half, hashtag Pirate Strong, hashtag Butte Strong. Funny story, I was at the Disturbed concert, and Disturbed's a heavy metal band in March. And, I'm rocking out, having a good time, and Lacey actually comes up and says hi during the concert. She had much better seats than I did. But it was fun, kind of seeing somebody in the 8-man
They realm. Always Paul, you should know this by now. They always put the good-looking girls in the best seats.
And the ugly guys in the back.
In the back,
right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it made sense. I'm not saying it didn't make sense.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
saying that's the way it was. So always good to see her and Coach Thorngren, one of the good guys. I've always been a fan of Coach Thorngren. So, okay, up next, guys, Glens Ferry and Shoshone, another beat down. Glens Ferry 50, Shoshone 16. Brody Merrill 3 of 80 yards, 16 carries, 79 yards, touchdown. Briggs, that's a name that you hear in Glens Ferry pretty often. 6 of 8, 59 yards, 3 touchdowns, 9 carries, 113 yards, TD. So, Glens Ferry. Making their way back, guys. Will, you did the preview on this, I think.
I think I even picked Shoshone last week, so Glens Ferry kind of shoved that one right back in my face. This one surprised me a little bit. I'm really impressed with the work that Glens Ferry staff and kids have done, because they had to replace a lot of talent off of last year's playoff team, and I thought it might take them a couple weeks to kind of get it going, and turns out it only took them a couple of minutes. That's a good showing against a pretty good team.
Right, for sure. And I picked Shoshone as well, and kind of surprised in the point spread here. But I remember back to last year talking to Coach at Glens Ferry, and how excited and proud he was of his team getting in the weight room over and over, and just getting strong and getting prepared. And so let's hand it to 3 claps for Glens Ferry, getting the ball game started here, getting the season started, and rolling. So watch for them.
Glens Ferry peaked during the tenure of Leif Morrison as head coach years and years ago. So
I thought they peaked during the Jay Bates tenure.
Did he actually play there?
He did not. He just lived there.
Okay. I didn't think I didn't see him as a football player.
I think he taught there for a little while. I think.
Did he?
I'd have to ask him.
All right. Next up, because you and I could go off on our own show tangent just with people we know.
We could.
Grace Raft River. Grace 22, Raft River 6. This one, a surprise to me, maybe not you guys. Will?
Great showing for Grace. That's a strong win over a strong opponent. And again, they showed that they're a team that's going to have to be taken very, very seriously in the 2A ranks this year. You got a big old strong running back in Smith. You got a veteran quarterback in Draper. You got the big tight end. You've got just strong kids, and you go out there and you shut down Raft River, and they really did. You hold a team to 6 points in 8-man football, you're doing some business. And for Raft River, I talked to Coach Evans a little bit. He said, we'll grow, we'll learn, we'll get better. We did some things good, and we got some things that we can work on, but I think that's a quality win for Grace.
Right, and in my evaluation of both those teams, they are both quietly do great work to prepare for great games, and that would have been a fun one to watch because there's a lot of speed and a lot of great athletes on both of those teams, and to come out of 22-6 would have been a really fun one to watch, and that shows the strength of Grace. To hold on there, and that they're for real. And like you say, Coach Evans will get things improved with the Trojans, but Grace sticking their head out there and going, hey, what about us? We're pretty good here in the state of Idaho. Right. So keep an eye on the Grizzlies. Those guys have some special things going over there.
Yeah, Draper, Smith, Moss, Yost, of course, Kimball, just offensive side and the defensive side, just quality players on that side. All right, guys, one last thing to do, and that's the season pick'em totals. And I haven't been involved in this, but right now, after last week, Coach, you're in the lead. 24-7. Brandon and Will tied up 22-9. Let's go ahead and go through this week's, guys. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Here we go. All right, so let's go with 2A's first. And I crossed out on my cheat sheet here teams that are cross playing 2A and 1A. So Cascade and Wilder. And we're going to go Coach and then Will on all these picks. Cascade, Wilder.
Cascade on that one.
Will?
Wilder.
Figures.
Raft River over Notice.
Yep.
Same. Agreed.
Okay. Castle Ford, Rimrock.
I'm going to go with Castle Ford over Rimrock.
Agreed. Same.
Rimrock haters. Kendrick and Hagerman.
Kendrick over
Hey, there
Hagerman.
are few bigger supporters of the Rimrock Raiders in this
You are
threesome
correct.
here than me.
You are correct. And yes, Kendrick and Hagerman. Coach takes Kendrick.
Same. Agreed.
Okay. What if I took Hagerman? I'm not really picking, but if I did, I might take Hagerman. Glen Sperry, Clearwater Valley, guys.
Glenn Slarey's playing some pretty good ball. Let's go with the Pilots.
I'll go
He's
with
watching.
that one too. Just they kind of shoved on me last week, so they've earned the right to prove me wrong once again. Clearwater Valley, Coach Hutchins. Sorry, I do have my Clearwater Valley hat that I proudly wear from time to time, and people think it's a
Right there. Oh, it's behind the savings hat.
oh, imagine that hidden once more.
Switch it. Right there. Clearwater Valley. Yeah.
I've been asked. I've worn it out here in the Boise area, and people have assumed it's some sort of an alternate Los Angeles Rams hat. And I'm like, oh,
And
God,
see-
no. I would never disgrace myself wearing Los Angeles Rams gear.
And see, you just said you wear it, which means it's a really big hat, which means I can't wear it because it like goes over my
You don't
ears.
have to wear mine. You can wear your own.
They're the same size.
Oh,
They're the
okay.
same.
Okay, didn't know that.
They got the same size. Yeah. All right. Valley Prairie.
I'm going to pick Valley. Go with my District 4.
I got to try and make up a game here, so I'm going to go Prairie.
Okay. Council Kamaya. I'm just kidding. I know how to say it. Kamai.
Kamaya. Yeah, somebody's calling that out to be a good game, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh, where's that one played? At Council, huh?
Yeah, Council.
At Council. Let's go with the Lumberjacks.
Okay.
Same. Agreed.
Okay. Logos and Lapway.
Logos is playing well. I'll go with the Knights.
Yep. Same.
Oakley Potlatch.
Hey, let's go with an Oakley victory. Oakley's going to break the streak.
Okay.
I'm going to go Potlatch. It's going to be close, but I'm going to go Potlatch.
All right. Butte and Carey.
Picking my Panthers.
Of course.
Yeah.
Will.
I will
Lacey's
agree on that
watching.
one.
I'm just saying.
Good choice, Will.
You're going to go Carey as well. Okay.
Love you, Sam.
Whack. I love you.
I
Horseshoe
felt that.
Bend, Idaho City.
I felt Lacey smack me there. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Let's go with Idaho City.
Same.
Okay.
Idaho City.
Will, you're just following me around here. You trying to?
I've
one
picked a
against you?
couple. I've
Yeah.
gone against you 3 times. So when they
Yeah.
all go my way, I'm actually going to jump ahead of you in the
You
standings.
can
All
jump ahead.
All right.
Okay.
we'll see.
Murtaugh Grace.
Let's go, Grace.
At Murtaugh, I'll take Grace.
Who are you?
Okay.
Are you Lee Corso? Didn't you Lee?
I need the
Yeah.
big headgear thing.
Come on, dude.
I got to put this couple up. Lacey agreeing with Doug that I'm the best guy ever to live. I think that's what he said. Ryan Skaggs says, Kendrick just scored again. Game's over, but they actually just scored again. And Lacey says, I still love you all. Oh, look at that. We can pick against her team and she still loves us.
Hey, I'll come say hi to you, Lacey. I'm going
That's because we're not married to her. If we were married to her, then that'd be you can't do that. But I
I'm
get
just
it.
that random guy in the Boise area who texts her husband all the time after the games and wants to know what happened.
And just
That's all I
pisses him
am.
off. Puts him in a bad mood for when he comes home. Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right. Camus Mackey.
Mackie.
Mackie.
North Gem and Shoshone. Yeah. Get into some tough
man.
ones.
They're both going to run heavy there. Let's go with North Gym.
North Gem.
I'm sensing a pattern here, Will.
Hey, Mama
Tim
didn't raise no dummy.
Timberline, Weippe, and Salmon River.
Guy's only won 77 state championships. Why would I go against him?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Thanks. That's Salmon River.
Ooh, coach.
Savages.
Same. Agreed.
Rockland Dietrich.
Going to be close. It's in Rockland, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with the Bulldogs there. They're rolling. They're coming fresh out of the dome.
Same.
Okay. Tri-Valley Deary.
Well, let's go with Tri-Valley on the rebound. But Deary's after it too, so it's going to be close. We'll go with Tri-Valley.
Yeah. Tri-Valley at home. Yeah. I'll go with the Titans.
Okay. Chalice Richfield. I have a Chalice Mackey River Cats baseball hat. I don't have a Chalice Vikings hat.
Where's this game at? I can't see on the screen there.
In Chalice, up in the hills.
Chalice, huh?
Yep.
On the road. Wow. Let's go Chalice.
I'll agree with that one. I think this is going to wind up being a heck of a ball game, but I'll take Chalice at home.
Okay, 3 more. Lewis County Lakeside.
Lewis County.
Coach Madrell's my guy. Got to go with him.
Gotta
Okay.
like him. Yeah.
Wallace and Soap Lake, Washington. Will, you have to know where Soap Lake is.
I do. I've been there
Where is it?
before.
How big a school is that? I wonder.
gonna guess
It's
small.
pretty small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go with Wallace.
Same.
Pick a
I would probably be banished from the show if I went Wallace versus Soap Lake and said Soap Lake, right?
Screw the Idaho team. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't be on the
Right.
Idaho 8-man podcast and pick some team in the middle of Washington to win.
Yes.
What if you pick Adrian, Oregon? Is that all right?
Well, they're almost in Idaho, and they actually applied to be in Idaho at one point.
Yeah, they did have an application in, so yeah.
Keep those antelopes out of my Idaho. Water Springs and Hanson.
We're going with Hanson.
After the show they put on last week, I think I got a Hanson.
Okay, so Will, you picked differently.
I don't think I did on any of the 1A games. I think Coach and I are in lockstep on the 1A games.
3.
A couple of 2A games.
3.
3 of them?
3.
Okay.
So you'd better
All right,
hope
Coach.
your teams win.
Yeah.
I'm either going to be buried or I'm going to be in first place when we meet next week. One of the two.
There we go. We'll have to see if Brandon picks in private there. Brandon, you got to pick before noon tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
buddy.
right. I'll email him and remind him just in case he's not watching.
Make sure
Just
you
in
get his
case.
picks from him. And none of these, I jotted them down on a napkin while I was at the movies on Wednesday night.
I swear, here they are. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that does it. When were we at? Just an hour and a half. We went way over, didn't we? But it was a good time. Good time had by all. Before you take off, make sure, one, Cole Peck, make sure you email me about giving you my address for a hat.
Hey, I'll take a Richfield hat too. Send 2 of them.
I don't think he offered you, to be fair. I think it was, but let me reread it. Maybe I'm wrong. Paul. Yeah, it says Paul first. It doesn't say Paul and Will.
He might have meant the city of Paul, Idaho,
Oh.
and not you specifically.
All right, Ryan, I'm going to kick this one up real quick. If Grace wins, Paul will get the Greta Thunberg haircut, which looks, I don't know if you've seen it. Greta Thunberg, the climate activist. It's a He-Man haircut. If you look back to He-Man back from the 80s, that's the cut she's got. By the power of Grayskull, I swear, it's
The power of
He-Man
Grayskull.
Yeah.
Well, we know you're not going to have the muscles to go with it, so you may as well have the haircut.
Me? I don't have enough hair to get the haircut. I would have to grow it out for a couple of years. So
Go for
We'll
it.
get you some. We'll get you some.
not happening. I already wore a pink hat, I think, at one of the shows this year. I think the first show I had a pink wig or something because I lost a bet. But anyway, let's get out of here, guys. This has been the Idaho 8-Man Prepcast. Great content as always, guys. Look forward to seeing all the games this weekend. Make sure you check out the game stream schedule to see where we are going to be. And make sure you go to the Gridiron Game Picks and get your picks in, because Ryan Skaggs, our broadcaster up north, podcaster, he's commented here tonight. He's won the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks in a row, the guy's won. So we need to bump him out. So we need to get enough people getting their picks in that the law of averages kicks in. Yeah, Sean Kane, his biggest rival, is booing that one. Sean, you can't boo until you beat him. So let's get in there and make some picks and beat the guy. So get your Gridiron Game Picks. Just go to the homepage. There's a banner right there for the Gridiron Game Picks. That's going to do it for us, for Coach Lane Kirkland and Will Henneke, Mr. Idaho 8-man himself. I'm Paul Kingsbury. You'll have Brandon Bainey back next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.